In the earlier panels, I touched upon some of the issues that needed to be addressed with respect to the Birchat HaShachar, these 18 brachot. Issues with respect to the content, where we have a bracha that God gave the Sechvi, the ability to distinguish between day and night. The bracha of Pokeach Ivrim, issues where we attempt to translate the information contained in the bracha into a real-world situation. Does the Pokeach Ivrim bracha highlight a caring God who heals the blind? Is this a macro-type bracha that God has given mankind the ability to see? Or is this a personal bracha that God has given me, the one making the bracha, the faculty of sight? This, as we noted, raises the question as to whether or not a blind person makes this bracha as part of his or her Birchat HaShachar. We had issues with the Matir Asurim bracha, that God releases those who are imprisoned. How does that translate into the real world? And what does one do with the source of the Birchat HaShachar, the Gemara in Brachot, that states that the Matir Asurim bracha is recited when one sits up in bed? And then when the 18 brachot were formally moved into the SIDDUR to be recited after Negel Vas and Netilat Yadayim, either prior to one leaves for shul, or in the Sepharad and Ashkenaz tradition, that these 18 brachot are recited by the Chazan as part of Tfilat Shacharit. How does this bracha relate to one uttering this bracha in the Bet Knesset? In this panel, I'm going to add another layer of difficulties regarding translation. The old RCA Siddur and the Chabad read the Kefufim as those who are bowed down, and God is Zokef Kefufim, he raises up those who are bowed down. The Koran Siddur, Kefufim, refers to people who are bent, and God straightens these people. While Reb Zalman Shechter, in the Siddur that he created for the Jewish Renewal Baal Tshuva movement, places a personal spin onto this bracha for helping me stand upright. All three options are valid translations, some close to the literal, others closer to the spirit of the bracha. But then when we take a closer look, one begs the question as to who are the kfufim, people who are bowed down, who are the people who are bent, are they people who are broken? And type in the word broken into an internet search and you have pages upon pages. God loves the broken soul, etc., etc. Help me stand upright. Is this referring to a physical condition, a prayer on behalf of an individual who has trouble walking? Or do we have a much broader definition for standing upright in terms of morality and ethical behavior? Which then, of course, raises the issue as to whether or not one needs God to lead a moral, ethical life. And then we have the actual source for the Birchat HaShachar from Brachot 60b that states, Ki Zakif, as one stands upright off the bed, Lema he or she should recite Baruch Zokef Kefufim, blessed be HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who raises those who are bowed down, which suggests that the Kefufim status is when one is lying prostrate upon one's bed. In the next panel I shall be looking at a number of options provided by the Va'ani Tfilati commentary to the Birchat HaShachar.